Captain Hook. Ayy, I go shopping, want it, then I cop it. Ayy, yeah, bitches bopping, I do what they copy. Ayy, look, he's a sweetie, kiss it when he eat it. Ayy, yeah, know it's good when you chewing, ayy, singing. I love niggas with conversation and find a clip with no navigation. Mandatory that I get the hit.
Move like a snake, like a snake. Move like a snake, like a snake. Move like a snake. I had an appointment the same day I went in to get induced. So I went in earlier that day and he did the regular, like it was just regular, like a regular appointment, like I was getting induced later on that night, baby. And I was ready, like down packed, had my bags packed. Bags was already in the car. I was ready, baby. I was ready, more than ready. So when I went in, he did the regular. He checked my cervix or whatever. And like I said, it's been a long time. My baby is a month, a week, and some days as of right now. So like, I don't remember like everything. I don't remember how open my cervix was. I don't remember that. But yeah, so I went in, checked my cervix, you know, they weighed me and I peed in a cup, you know, just the regular. And then it was time to go. And I think he said I was open like 2 or 3 centimeters. It was 2 or 3. So boom, they gave me I checked out. They gave me a paper and it was like, I couldn't eat past 10 a.m. Or was it 12? I think it was 12. I couldn't eat past 12 a.m. And I couldn't, no, it was 10. It was 10. I couldn't eat past 10 a.m. and I couldn't drink nothing past 4 a.m. Or was it 7? It was one of those. Just know I had a time limit on drinking and eating. So yeah, I was mad because I didn't eat nothing but Sonic, and I ate Sonic before I had came to my appointment, which was a morning appointment. So baby, I went all day without eating. Only thing I ate was a burger and some tater tots from Sonic. So yeah, I left. They gave me a paper or whatever. Boom. I went to my boyfriend's house. I went to my boyfriend's house to, like, you know, let time pass or whatever. And then I took a nap because I was like real tired. And I was like, I took a nap because I was like real tired, and I knew I was not gonna get no sleep in the hospital, like, at all. So yeah, we let time pass and it was finally time to go to the hospital. So boom, baby, we went to the hospital and my mama met me there. We was at the hospital. It was me, my boyfriend, my mama, his sister, and his brother, who was at the hospital. I checked in. We had to wait in the waiting room until they got my room ready or whatever. And yeah, so they got my room ready, and yeah, it was finally time to go. So boom, they walked me to my room, and I was gonna take a shower before I came to the hospital, but that wasn't the case because how time was, you know, running and other things got in the way. So yeah, I took a shower as soon as I got in the hospital. Cause she was like, the nurse came in, she was like, come on, we gotta get this on a robe, baby. Put this robe on, I mean the nightgown, the whatever you want to call it. She said, put it on. I have my window open, so excuse anything that y'all hear. Yeah, so she said put it on, and I was like, can I take a shower first? So she was like, yeah, just, you know, hurry up, we gotta get it started. So I tried to take a shower in my room, but the shower head was like just completely like just messed up. Like the water was just going everywhere. We couldn't, like, we didn't know how to fix it. The nurse came in, she didn't know what to do, so she just took me to another room. Nobody was in that room, and I took a shower in that room. So yeah, I took a shower, put the nightgown on, or whatever you want to call it, hospital gown. Put the hospital gown on, and I went in my room, and boom, got in the bed. Not too long after, the nurse came in and she checked my cervix before she induced me. She checked my cervix, and she checked my cervix, and yeah, I was a little bit more open than I was at my appointment earlier that day. It was like about 1 centimeter, 1 or 2, nowhere near 10. You have to be 10 centimeters. I was nowhere near 10. So she then induced me, and she came in with this small pill. Like, it was so small. It looked like it was cut, and it might have been cut, but I don't know. But it was in a clear. It was in a clear container, and it was like real small. And she did what she had to do, baby. She put it on my lady part, and I was like, what? Because I swear I thought they was going to come in with a long needle and go up there and just pop it, and my water break, and boom, it's time to push. No, that wasn't the case. She came in with a pill, put it up there, and I just had to wait. I didn't feel nothing when she put it in there. I didn't feel nothing. It just felt like regular, like they was, like as if they was checking my cervix. Because, yeah, it just felt like that. I didn't feel a pill. I didn't feel nothing at all, like, you know. So I just had to wait it out after that, and after I waited it out, I say I had to come in at 10. She did that like not too long after I came. So I say it was probably like 10:30 or whatever. And later on that night, I was laying down, like I couldn't sleep. I was like just so ready, like trying to prepare my head for whatever was finna, like, birth. I was preparing for birth. Like, I didn't know what to think, what to feel. Like, I was just like, hold on, like I'm really finna have a baby. Like, I'm really finna push a baby out my coochie. What? A baby? Anyway, so yeah, I was preparing for that, and my mama and my boyfriend, they stayed with me overnight. Like, they stayed the whole time I was in the hospital, my mama and my boyfriend. And remind you, his sister and his brother was there, so they stayed like a little later. Like, they didn't leave right away when they gave me the room. They stayed or whatever, then they left. And yeah, so after they left, we was getting ready for, you know, just for bed. They was getting ready for bed. I was just laying there like I couldn't go to sleep. I couldn't go to sleep. So boom. They was like sleep. They was sleep. My boyfriend was sleep, and my mom was sleep. Yeah, they was sleep. And all I know is I was laying in the bed. Like, no lie. I was laying in the bed, and I just had a feeling like I just had a feeling. It wasn't like pain. I felt like I was opening up. That's what I feel like. Like, I feel like I was opening up. I just knew I was opening up. And not too long after that, like, I just knew in my head, I was like, my water finna break. I got that feeling. I was like, my water is finna break. After that, not too long after, I'm just laying there. No lie, I'm laying on my right side, and I'm looking at the TV, and they had this small TV. Like, anyways, that's beside the point. I was looking at the TV, and I was laying on my right side, and out of nowhere, like, it just just shot out like water. My water broke in the bed. Like, I was like, what? I said, mama. And she's like, she jumped up because, you know, baby, I'm getting ready for birth. Like, you know, she was aware. So she was like, what? She hurried up and got up. And yeah, I was like, my water broke. So then she called the nurse, and yeah, they cleaned me up, because like the sheets on my bed, the pad they had laid down, everything was just wet, everything. She came in and she helped me get off the bed, and she was like, I was still like, it was still coming out. When I finally stood up, it was still just running out. And yeah, she was like, go sit on the toilet. So I sat on the toilet, and you know, some more still came out. And yeah, after that, a lot really didn't come out, but it was coming out like a little bit at a time. So yeah, I got sat on the toilet, and she had explained to me, because when my water broke, it was like green looking, and I didn't know if it was supposed to be green. I was like, what? So she explained to me, and she was like, it's green because I forgot the word that she called it, but she was like, it's so and so. I forgot, but she was like, basically your baby, did a number 2 in the womb, and yeah. That's it. She just did the number 2 in the womb, and she explained how, like, when I was to push her out and she finally came out, they had to hurry up and suck, suck her mouth, like just hurry up and clean her and be aware, because if she was to swallow her number 2, then yeah, it would have been a problem. So yeah, she explained that to me, and after that, I laid back in the bed, and as I said, it was still coming out, but just a little bit, like a little bit at a time. Like I still felt it come out. And since my water had already broke, I would say I'll give it like 20-25 minutes. She kept coming in there checking on me, and she was like, are you okay? Do you want the epidural? And I was like, no, I'm okay. I was taking the pain pretty good, like pretty good. Like after my water broke, that's when it started getting, like, it started hurting worse and worse. Like, baby, that pain ain't no joke.
It felt like real bad.
So she kept checking on me. She's like, do you want the epidural? I was like, no, I'm fine. She's like, are you sure? Because she know. She's like, are you sure? Because if you want the epidural, we can get it right now. Like, I will get it, like call the nurse and they will be here. Do you want it? And I was like, no, I'm okay. So then I'll say she asked 2 times before I finally said I wanted the epidural, and which was like 20-25 minutes. And I'm not gonna lie, I was crying. I was laying in my bed, the hospital bed, and I was crying. Like, I wasn't like boo-hoo crying, but like I was like, ooh, like it was hurting, and I was trying to deal with as much pain as I could before I got the epidural. But when it finally got to the max where I couldn't handle it no more, yes, I was crying. And then she came in there, and I was on an IV with like fluids and stuff. She came in, she was doing my IV or whatever, and I didn't like look her dead in her face, but I was looking, I was crying. I didn't want nobody to notice that I was crying. And she was like, I was like, ooh, I think I said, ooh. My mom was like, yeah, she hurting something. And she looked at me, and she was like, are you crying? I said, yeah. She said, we getting epidural. She's like, you want the epidural? I was like, yeah. She was like, okay, we're gonna get the epidural. So boom. She finished doing my IV, and she came in, she was like, we have to, it was two doctors that was doing the epidural, and she said one was in a C-section, they was doing a C-section, and the other one, she said one was doing a C-section, and she was like, do you want to wait till she's done, or do you want me to call the backup? And I was like, I think I said I'll wait. I don't know, but she just came in, boom. Time passed, and she came in. It was time for me to get my epidural. And as I said, my mom and my boyfriend was there, so boom. Only one person could be in the room with me when I got my epidural. So I chose my mama, not just because, I want my mama. No, I chose my mama to stay in there with me because my mama had 2 kids. She's grown. She's like, she know what's supposed to be what. Like, if she seen something that was out of the way, she, what's going on, And plus, my boyfriend was half asleep. We had to wake him up and tell him to get out the room. So I just was like, Mama, stay here with me. So boom, I was having contractions. After my water broke, that's when they hooked me up. No, they been hooked me up to this contraction thing. First, it was like a Bluetooth thing. Baby, they upgraded, baby. They was up to date. It was like a Bluetooth. Nobody Bluetooth could be on, because the thing they put on my stomach was Bluetooth, and it could like tell when I was having a contraction or whatever. But yeah, after a while, she came in and she took that one off, and she just put like just the regular little, the two little things, like it's like circles with like a band on it. She just put it on my stomach. It's like the regular kind. So she put that on my stomach because she said the other one wasn't working right or whatever. It kept on like cutting on and off or whatever. So she put that one on there. And yeah, I was having contractions. And as the lady was getting like the stuff ready for the epidural or whatever, I was just like right there, like, oh my gosh, like I was having like, and every time I would have a big contraction, you don't even want to know the feeling that I was having. You don't want to know. Like it was hurting. But I wouldn't say that was the hard part. We're gonna get to that part. So yeah, it was finally time for her to stick it in my back or whatever, and I had to this the bed. I had to put my butt all the way on this side, and I had to let my feet come out on this side. But I had to bend all the way, like as far as I could. So I was like down, like if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, I held my mama. I forgot. I think my mom or the nurse. No, I held my mama's hand. I had my mama's hands, and the nurse was like holding my back or whatever. And yeah, so she's like telling me everything that she was doing or whatever. She was like, okay, I'm cleaning it. Boom. Finally got the epidural. And when she was gonna stick it in, I was like, hold on, because I was having a contraction. And you're supposed to be as still as possible when you're having a contraction, because anything can happen. Get paralyzed, back prop, anything can happen. So you have to be as still as possible. So when she was gonna stick it in, I was like, hold on, because I was having a contraction. Like, I can't be still through this. It hurts. So stop. I told her to stop. So yeah, then after the contraction passed, she did it, and I felt like I felt just a poke. It was just a poke. And when she was putting it in there, after I felt the poke, I felt a cold sensation. Like my back, it just got cold. And so yeah, she got done, and it was she basically put an IV, like, regular IV in your arm. It was like an IV in my back, pretty much, or like just a needle. It was similar to an IV, and then they came in and they hooked, like, it was like a real skinny cord, and it was hooked like to the IV, the stuff. Epidural. It was like a skinny cord, and it was hooked onto whatever she put in my back, like the IV little thing. It was hooked in my back, and they gave me a button, and I was like, if it's like it was coming, the epidural was coming in my back, like slowly though. But she was like, if you get in any more pain, like where you need some more, they gave me it was a button, and she said press it, and it'll like speed up it'll speed it up and give me more than what it was giving me at first. And like you couldn't press it, and you couldn't get too much of it, because after a while, like if you press it a number of times, it would stop and it wouldn't give you none. So yeah, that's good. And yeah, after that, I went to sleep. I don't know what time it was. It was late. It was like morning time, like 1 or 2. And I tried to get a little bit of sleep. I got a little bit. But after I got the epidural, like, it was fine. Like,
I highly recommend it.
It was fine. My contractions, it was okay. Like, I felt it. Like, every time I was getting a contraction, like, I'll say every time I was getting the big contractions, I felt it. But not as bad. Like, I knew I was getting a contraction. But it wasn't to the point where I had to, like, ooh, like, none of that. Like, but I knew I was getting a contraction. But the epidural, Epidural works. It works. So yeah. After that, my water broke. We was just waiting for me to dilate more and more, And so we was just in there, when time passed, and she was checking me, like she kept coming in there and checking on me. They checked if I was dilated more, and I was getting dilated more and more. And then boom, it was time for, oh boom, I was like 8 or 9 centimeters. She was like, it's finna be time. And remind you, like, when time was passing, people came up there, his sister, his 2 sisters, my boyfriend's 2 sisters. And later on, when his mama got off of work, she came up there, and yeah. So she was like, the nurse was like, you're 8 centimeters, you're 8 or 9. It was 8 or 9. And yeah, so I was like, it's finna be time to push. It's finna be time to push. I was like, I'm finna push. Like, I can't even explain. Like, it was so long. Like, my water broke at 2:20 a.m. I had her at 7:19 p.m. on Wednesday, February 5th. And yeah, so after that, she was just like getting it ready, getting everything ready for me to push and stuff. But we had to wait on my doctor to come, and because my doctor had to deliver. And so we was waiting on my doctor to come. He was somewhere. I don't even know where he was at. But then my process was difficult and long, because he was just ready on them to, tell me it's time. But then after she told me it was 8 or 9, I was 8 or 9 centimeters. Then she came, she put me in a position or whatever. I was then there, in the position to push and everything. And I was pushing. But her head wasn't coming out yet. She just preparing me. This how you gonna push.
9, 10.
So then I was pushing.
Give me another good push.
Then she
Like
told
80%
me,
here. Good job. Take a breath when you need it.
basically, I wasn't dilated to 8 or 9 no more. And she said my cervix had closed back up. And I was like, what? What? And we were just so mad. We was just irritated. Oh my gosh, if y'all would just have came. My doctor was taking all day. This is your fault. This is your fault. What do you mean I'm back closed? I was irked. I was just irked. So they was coming in there checking on me, and as time was passing, his mama left and got his little brother. So boom, came back. And when she had came back, soon as she came back, oh baby, it was time to push. As time was passing, it was time to push. They had me pushing, prep pushing to speed the process up, because my water had already broke. So they was having me, I would say, pre-pushing to get get it going. And I was doing it the whole time she had left to go get my boyfriend little brother. And when she came back, it was time. She walked into me it was for real deal, there. Yeah, so I was pushing, and remind you, the doctor didn't come in yet. And because the process was going so slow, and it was being my baby was being difficult, and it was just a lot of things going on at the time, my doctor ended up not delivering my baby. I had got another doctor. So yeah, it was time, and the nurse was still there. The nurse was in there, and when I was pushing, that's when her head had started showing, like her head was coming down there, and you could see. I have a video. I'm not gonna show anything exclusive. I'm gonna block what needs to be blocked out, but I'll put the video in here or whatever. So yeah, her head started to show. All you could see is hair. I was like, oh, I need my baby to have hair. My baby bald headed. I was gonna be so mad, like for real. That's all. His mama had already came in the room or whatever. It was me, his mama, my mama, and my boyfriend. We was the only ones in there. And so yeah, and the nurse. And she was like, so I had to, my legs was open, of course, and I had to put, you're gonna see in the video, I had to put my hands under. I couldn't hold nobody's hand, which I wanted to because I needed to squeeze, but this is what the nurse told me. She told me to put my hands under my leg, and when I pushed, like I had to push every time I had a contraction. Every time I was having a big contraction, she was like, okay, 1, 2, 3, push. Every time I had a contraction, I had to push. So I had to put my hands under my I don't know why I'm doing it like y'all can see me. I had to put my hands under my thighs, which my legs was open. I had to put my hands under my thighs, and I had to push. Every time I pushed, I had to like push my legs as far as it could go, like up. No, I had to lift my upper body up. You get what I'm saying? Like my legs and my stomach had to be really like touching, basically, as far as it could. So yeah, she came back, boom, she was like, oh, it's time, like it's time. And when my baby head came, I knew, as I was pushing, I couldn't feel nothing. It didn't hurt. I just felt pressure, like pushing. If you understand, I just felt like pressure, but it wasn't hurting like how I thought it was. It was nothing like that. So yeah, when her head finally came down there, I was still pushing. The nurse was still in there. The doctor wasn't, in there. They said I don't know if y'all can hear that. But yeah. So where was I at? Oh, I was still pushing when her head came. I was still pushing. The nurse was still in there, and the doctor I had to get, he was like in another delivery, so I had to wait. So I was still pushing. The nurse still had me pushing, and I was just like, come on, like where's the doctor? I said, where's he at? Like, he needs to come on. I snapped for a few, and so yeah, I was still pushing. And since the doctor was taking so long and she still had me like pre-pushing, my baby head was coming out, and she was going back in, and then she had a moment where she like pushed herself out, and like during this, like her head, like this is me, this is me, and when her head was coming, it was like opening up, and her head, it wasn't out, but it was like there, like just sitting right there. So as I was pushing, it was getting closer, and then she was going back in, and then she'll tell me to push again. I'll push, she'll come back, and she'll get right there. And then she had a moment where I wasn't pushing at all, and my baby was like pushing herself out, like she didn't want to come out, babe. She really didn't want to come out. My baby, she kept going in and out, and plus it was the nurse's fault too, because she kept telling me to push and okay, stop, and push, and then stop, and I was just like hurry up, like we need to get this on a roll, like baby, my baby's head is down there, like the fuck, like Excuse my language. So yeah, the doctor finally came in, and boom, it was time. It was time. Finally, after 300 years, like, it was time. So yeah, he got me ready. He was like, it happened pretty fast. He came in, he was like ready, like he was like, okay, like hurry up, like, baby, push. So yeah, I started pushing, and it was like, when I started finally pushing, like when my doctor came and I finally started pushing, it didn't take too long until my baby finally came out. And so when he came in, I had to like push to my max. I had to push like really push. And we don't have
False
any
information. We
footage of
found
that
the
because,
video.
you know, we was asked to stop recording. Somebody told us we couldn't record or whatever. So yeah, we only have footage of me pre-pushing, as I would call it. Yes, so I was pushing to my max, like really pushing. And as it was getting like closer, and like I was pushing back to back, and that's when I started crying, and I started to make this sound like I was crying. I always say I was crying out loud. I was making, my crying noise, but at the same time I was pushing, so it was like a little
Okay, baby. Good job, baby.
sweet. Yeah. I don't know. He's like, the doctor was like, stop, don't make the noise, stop doing it. He was like, just push. And boom, after my baby came, and she was out, and it was other nurses in the room. It was like I say, like a handful of nurses, the doctor, me, my boyfriend, my mama, and his mama, and it was just like a lot of people just going around the room, and I was just like overwhelmed. I'm like, I'm tired. I'm like just glad that it's over and stuff. The pushing part, I was glad the pushing part was over, and yeah, I was just laying there, and he had to get the afterbirth out, which is like a whole bunch of fluids and just stuff. Like I didn't see it personally, but how my boyfriend explained it, he said it was just like stuff, like, yeah, fluids, and looked like little pieces of skin. It was just, yeah. So he was pushing on my stomach real hard, and I was just like, I wasn't jumping or nothing. I was just ready for it to be over. Like, okay, do what you have to do. Like, do it. Yeah, my boyfriend cut the umbilical cord, and after that, they took my baby to the little bed thing they have for her, with the light over it and stuff. They cleaned her off. Well, they didn't clean her off like right then and there. They put, I don't know what they did. They didn't give her bath though. So, yeah, after that, it was just, after that, he got the afterbirth out. He gave me my baby, and yeah, she was just laying on me, and she was crying. She was crying for quite a while. I was petting her, and I was just like, oh my gosh, my baby. And yeah, you get like, I was like, wow, I really had a baby. And after that, it was pretty chill. Everybody, after they cleaned the room back up, changed whatever needed to be changed and stuff. And it was pretty chill after that. She stopped crying. Everybody was taking turns holding her, and we was just in there, chilling and stuff. And then, yeah, everybody left, and my baby was asleep in the little crib thingy, bassinet thingy they had. And oh, when I was on the epidural, I'm missing parts. When I was on the epidural, they had me on I forgot what it's called, but it's basically like a tube that go up you and it catches all your pee. Because when I was on the epidural, I was numb, so I couldn't feel when I needed to pee. Like I was peeing a lot. Like they said my thing was filled up. And I was like, what? Because I didn't feel nothing. I didn't feel me pee at all. So that explains why they had to like put that in me in case I peed, because I couldn't feel when I peed. So yeah. And after that, the nurse came and it was time for me to get moved to another room. And yeah, she took that out. And we just, was packing up all our stuff that we had in there, like our bags of clothes and stuff. And we got moved to the other room. And when I first stood up after I had my baby, it was like my stomach, it felt so weird. Like I just felt weird, period. Like I couldn't really feel my legs. Like I just felt real weird. And I only could feel one of my legs. My right leg I couldn't feel, and I was like, is that normal? Like I was really getting paranoid. Like I was like, is that normal? Like is it supposed to be like this? And she was explaining to me like how the position that I was laying in, that it would, like, if I was laying on my right leg, the epidural wouldn't really get into my right leg. It would go on the other side. So it was like dependent on how I was laying is how numb pieces of my body parts was getting numb. If y'all you understand. So yeah, I got moved to my other room, and after that it was pretty smooth, This was no, it was not smooth. This was the hardest part, that I would say, because after I had my baby, my stomach felt like it was just there. Like I couldn't stand up straight. I really couldn't. Like I wouldn't say I had to learn how to walk again, but it was pretty hard for me to walk. Like, my stomach felt heavy to the point where I couldn't stand up straight. I had to lean like this, like every time I got up to walk. And I was, bleeding down there and stuff. And they was coming in, pushing on my stomach to make sure I was healing right. And, I did have a couple of blood clots come out. And yeah, they put you in a diaper. I would say a diaper. Yeah. They had ice packs and numbing spray for you to use, because I did have to get like 2 or 3 stitches. Not a lot. It was like 2 or 3. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I came in on Tuesday and I left on a Friday. I came in on Tuesday, had her Wednesday, and I left that Friday. And when I left, I was healing pretty good. But I still had, I still looked a little pregnant. I think that's normal. I don't think your stomach just go back down. So yeah, that's pretty much it.